Welcome to Critically Average Adventures and welcome to Out the Cold. This is a D&D campaign I'm playing with my friends. And this is my friend. Yes. Oh my gosh. Oh my good golly gosh. What an interesting bit of downtime we've had. Since last time, returning to the city of Kirkanzax, we have had Rook has gone off just to check on his friend Lucas and his wonderful beverage cart, which has been upgraded to now say Rook cart, and there is like a kind of a passion going around for this Rook brew, and it seems very popular. Lucas is in a good mood and happy to see you. You stand there, and as you walk through the streets, several people have sort of noticed you also, Mororook, and you know, just tips of the head, like pleasantly, like sort of, how you doing? Like you're known, but people don't want to interrupt you, and they seem to like know your connection to Lucas because a couple of people have got those steaming mugs and they've kind of tipped them to you as you've walked through the streets.
He's the new Kool-Aid man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We've had Niala. You have been exploring around in your new access library, and you have uncovered information about bloodhawks and heard a strange tale, another little children's story about a scary creature that people would be told about to go to bed and stop being pests. Arden, you have been chatting. Hold on, where's I've got my notepad down. Sorry, hold on, folks. You have been chatting to your goblin friend, your goblin trader friend, Krathathas Gretch Turnoak, and you know him as Gretch. And you have been trying to make a bargain with him. Errol, or Nan. Oh dear, did it. Nan, you have been dealing with the creepy Krellin in his creepy, steamy hut. He's been eating bugs and freaking you out a little bit.
Such a weirdo.
And has told you about the tiefling that you've been seeking ever since you got in the very gates of the city, when you caught a glimpse but have yet not been able to find. You were on the right track. You were even in the right area of the city, it turns out, last time, but just with that survival check, you ended up fighting a reflection of yourself. And Sin. You open your eyes and you look up to a ceiling, and it is lots of boxes, grey boxes, like outlines of boxes with different colours all in the middle of them. Many of them. And you're laying on your back, and if you look to your sides, you see you're in a cubicle room about 40 feet by 40 feet with openings and great big high walls that you could not climb. Smooth black grey stone, and the openings look like they lead to another one of these shapes. As you sit up and look around a bit more, you look left, you look right, and you look behind you, and you see that this pattern of cubic rooms goes on in front of you, goes on beside you and behind you as well. What would you like to do?
Oh shit! I didn't think I got to this fast. Did you say there was a door?
In
Or
each of the four walls in this perfectly square space, there are slits in the wall that go from the top of where the wall is, several hundred, maybe, yeah, we're talking about 100 foot maybe, up, down. So these walls are really, really high. They're like pits, but yeah, it's kind of like they're like a pit basically. But each wall has a slit in it that you can traverse through. So if you were looking at it from above, you're looking at a kind of let me just quickly draw it on a thing and I'll hold it up. So your space looks like this. You can just sort of see like this. You're in the middle of this section. You can see a room in front, a room this way, a room this way, and a room this way. And those walls are really, really high.
do I just wake up on the floor, or like is there a bed?
You're laying on your back on your own. And the last thing you remember is like a fluttering of feathers, black feathers.
I see no one besides me.
No.
Damn. All right. Well, I'm gonna take out my queen's feather. You know. Let's just start walking through the slit that's right in front of me.
Okay. You walk, and with your passive perception, you do notice something as you're stared up. You've got up from the ground. You see that the perspective laying down in these tall rooms is very strange. And that you stand up and you realize that that isn't a ceiling as such. Like where the 100-foot wall stops above you, there's a great space in between. It's absolutely vast space in between. And you peer up, and it's very well lit. I must emphasize that. The light is still and white and pure, very crisp, and sort of with a light haze in it. Imagine like mist blowing off like a lawn, maybe like kind of like that sprinkler kind of thing where you get like a kind of haze, that kind of thing. But there doesn't seem to be much moisture in there. In fact, there doesn't seem to be any movement in the air either. The air isn't moving at all in this place. And as you peer up, you realize that what you're actually looking at, the squares above you, are an exact
every fucking time.
Is it hot outside?
I don't fucking know.
Because, well, Albert wants to know if we're going over to pick him up or not.
Yeah, we're gonna go pick him up once I'm done with this.
Albert, we're gonna go pick you up.
Right? Can you get the fuck out and?
The only reason I want you guys to
Dia's drama slush.
Every time. And we love it.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the same without it.
It's our own little sitcom. It's becoming an episodic thing.
So when you look up, you realize that the square patterns that you thought were a ceiling somewhere off above the cubes that you're in are actually other cubes matching what you're in. There are other versions of this. Well, many hundreds of feet away. So far away that they appear only like this big to your perspective. But you think that that's actually, if you were to stand in that, a 40-foot square. And
So
you move in.
It's like a reflection, right? And like, or
No, there's no reflection.
No? Oh, shit.
It's not. It's different. It's much different. Those ones seem to be. Those rooms don't seem empty. You look at the floor that you're standing on. It's kind of white, light grey. Those ones have got things in them. Yeah, there's patterns, multicolours. Each of them got something different, a multitude of different things.
Hmm.
And you walk into the next room, and you see that you actually as you step into the next room, you kind of your foot sinks a little bit because you're looking up, and you kind of could you make me a dex save just quickly? Quite a low DC, but
Watch me fail either way.
Don't say that.
Hey, 17.
17.
See?
You're fine. You catch your feet, but your feet are sinking in to the ground because there isn't ground. Your feet are sinking into small shoes. Loads of small shoes. Like there's 40-foot room, the entire floor, and what feels like goes down deeper is filled with shoes.
That is fucking creepy. Okay.
And with your passive perception being so high, you realize that these are all just one of the shoes. And these are all children's shoes, small children's shoes, but just the one.
Oh. God, I fucking hate kids.
And you look back behind you, and your room looks far more comforting. Your room where you were on your own. But again, in this space, it's 40 foot by 40 foot, and you see another 4 ways out of the room: the way you came, the way ahead, the way left, the way right.
All right, I'm gonna go back into my room and check all the other like slits, see what's inside of them.
Okay. So the one to your, so we say the one you went to first with north. Okay, just to make it easy. Okay. The one that you next go to, you're a bit more cautious as you step into the room this time, looking for actually what's in it. The entire space is filled with teaspoons, tiny spoons, like for putting stirring coffee, sugar into coffee. All different kinds, different designs, different patterns. Some bent, some twisted, some old, some brand new. Wooden handles, metal handles. One's made out of wood. Just teaspoons, filling a room 40 foot by 40 foot. And then you hear a tink, and another teaspoon falls from up above you into the space, into the very center, adding to the heat. That kind of a little landslide of them as that one lands on the middle.
Well, I say this is a place where lost things go, but I'm not lost. I was taken away. Ah, damn. All right, I continue to check on the other rooms.
This room is, you step in and you feel a brushing against your leg. And something curl around your leg, and you look down, and it's a tail, a furry tail. And you see all round your ankles, wrapping around, mewing at you. This room is filled with cats. Cats that mew and you notice that to each of them, to the collar, is pinned a piece of paper. A sheet of parchment.
Can you just read a couple?
You take one off and it says, "Missing, Missy, light brown tabby." And it's the cat.
Oh, like mine. Yeah.
It matches the cat that you take it off, and the next one says Toots. Black cat, white paws, and it's attached to a black cat with white paws. And this goes on for as long as you wish to touch. And again, in this room, there is tall walls, 40-foot square. You're not sure how deep the cats go. But again, opposite you, there are an entrance. Left, right, there's an entrance. Or an exit, whichever it is.
All right, I'll check the last room.
Back from your room.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The floor appears to be made of curved wood, like lots of pieces of curved wood. Almost like if someone had polished a branch, maybe. That's what you...
And then I'll continue in that room. Save. And
You want to walk into that room?
yep.
Okay. You walk in, and the wood slips slightly under your feet as you beginning to walk in to the space. Can you roll a perception check, please?
Well, hey, 19 plus stuff, and that's 27. I miss her and her high perception. That's the best.
Yeah. You notice that you need to roll for initiative.
Oh, not that good. 9.
9. Okay. Okay. You out of the pile and between these round pieces of wood, you see fingers come out from between the wood, made of wood, that come out, and it's attached to a wooden forearm jointed here, and it kind of pulls itself out from in between and then pulls it along. There's nothing else. It's just like a wooden prosthetic hand that crawls towards you and attempts to claw at you and rolls a 10.
No.
So then you get to have a wallop at 8. It's your turn. Crawling wooden hand coming towards you out of the between this.
Well, it's wood, so I'm assume it's weak to fire, right? It has to be. Hopefully. So I'm gonna go ahead and cast produce flames and like chuck it at him.
Yeah, it's kind of crawling up your leg at the moment.
Oh no. 17?
Yes.
That's 2D. And that's 7 points of fire damage.
It ignites, burns, the fingers crisp, and it falls to the floor, charred arm.
It's like dead now, right?
Yeah.
Alright, I'll pick it up. Might be good for Ed. Just
This one you think beyond use.
Yeah, that's true. I'll try. Next time I'll think. I continue. Just
Okay.
into a random slip and stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
You
So
could
you-
use the
you
arm
carry
for
on.
my baby.
He said it wasn't usable.
You
Yeah, I
now
should've thought of
realize,
that
but
before.
you do as you start walking, you realize you're now standing on a pile of lost prosthetic arms.
I should go to the palace of one and find one that might help for Ed.
Okay, let's have an investigation check, and that's where we can
Gotcha.
leave you for a minute, investigating a pile
Damn
of
it.
lost prosthetic arms.
It's always intelligence that I fuck up. Investigate. Where's my investigation? That's a +1, so 14.
You're looking through this pile at the moment. It's going to take you some time going through that. Rook, you feel your stomach grumble. You've come back. You've had a sip of this invigorating brew, and Lucas is obviously on the house for Rook, and says, "All right. So what you did out there was it good? Did you go as you planned? What you've been away? I hadn't seen you for days. I'm assuming you're outside the city."
Yes, I assume you know Treese at the Yak.
Yeah,
Yak's
I
town.
know Treese. Yeah.
Yes, well, Treese was, how do I put this delicately, robbed of their possessions, so we had to venture out and acquire these possessions back, which we did. We acquired the possessions and sent a message to people that would think to rob the people of Kakanzax. That's to not really.
You can tell that all the time that you're having this conversation, he's looking in your eyes, and he's trying not to look at the eyes of the Duragar heads that are told to your belt. But he's kind of like, you can see the eye kind of glint down and then back up, and then like realizing that this is obviously knows what you've been out and done, but he's just trying to make small talk about the hideous murder that you've committed.
Look.
How has Rook not been stopped by guards wandering around with dismembered heads attached?
Right.
I
All I'll
was
say-
here.
All I'll say, would you stop this like 7-foot tall fur bastard with heads on his belt?
Also a hero of Kakanzak.
Also a hero of Kakanzax.
Not
Goes
the
around
hero,
corner,
though.
there's an entire platoon of because none of them were brave enough to go alone.
Yeah, your stomach's grumbling. It feels like it's maybe time for tea.
Lucas, if
some
you would,
breakfast.
excuse me, I'm rather famished. I might go and have a wander around, see if I can find somewhere good to. Can you recommend anywhere good to eat around here?
I heard they're cooking up a storm at the Yak.
Yeah.
Did you know Treese?
Well, yes.
I've heard they've got really dexterous kitchen staff.
Well, I wouldn't say dexterous. One of them's brilliant. Don't get me wrong. One of them is I shall name no names. But one of them is absolutely incredible, an incredible cook. Does things that other people wouldn't even think, like spice things, or magnificent. The other one is a fox. So I'm not quite sure how you want to take that, but yeah, it's good. It's good. It's all very good. Yeah. Okay. Oh yes. I mean, apart from the Yak, is there anywhere else really that you would recommend?
There's a couple of other eateries on the square near the Yak. I mean, try those. They're pretty good.
I might go and have a look. Thank you,
A bit
Lucas.
more fancy, not so rustic as the Yak, but if you want hearty filling, I'd say the Yak. Probably the best place in town right now.
Yeah, probably. I'll go to the Yak. Thank you, Lucas. You enjoy the rest of your day, and if you need anything, you now know where to find me. I'll be in the Yak, apparently.
All right. Yeah, sure. It should be all right, but pop by in the morning tomorrow. I'll have a fresh one on for you.
Of course. I'll see you tomorrow, Lucas.
You start walking in the direction of the Yak towards the front gates. Nyala, you are leaving the library after quite a long time's research, and you
Yeah.
notice a bugbear with some Duragar heads on the belt as you sort of are proceeding through the streets, and you recognize this to be your good friend Mororook.
I'm just going to catch on with him. Like, Rook, Rook, I have some news. I can hear you.
I'm muted. Yep, there we go. Yes. What is it, little one?
Little one. Never mind. Okay, I might have something for Sin, and I'm not sure. But I might need to gather the other for this. No, I wanted to ask you, do you know any books about romance?
Books about what? What makes you think that I know anything about books about romance?
Because you have experience?
You can't just learn something like that in a book.
Teach
Unfortunately,
me?
Rook just wants to
Oh.
say, you've only just got it. You either got it or you
Oh.
don't, girlfriend.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm I'm not going to teach you. That's something
Yeah, because the
definitely not
sailor
for me.
had, yeah, the sailor had those kind of books when they were on long travel with image in it, and
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe I can find one, but I don't know where.
I mean, the library, a bookstore.
No, I don't think this is the kind of books they, like buy, not just take for reading, just buy.
Maybe go to the bookstore after 9 o'clock. After all the kids have gone to bed.
Definitely Krellin's back room.
Buy.
All sort of creepy frog stuff going on in the back there.
Do you know that episode of Futurama where it's a porno dealing monster episode? Oh no, maybe anyway. There's an episode of Futurama with a porno dealing monster.
I vaguely
A
remember
long
it.
time since I've watched Futurama.
Um,
Very long.
yeah, so you begin your conversation, and Nyala is trying to convince Mororook to either advise, point in the right direction of some form of Kama Sutric literature. And I actually found a Buddha at my work that was a fat, squat Buddha, but then when you turned it up the other way, there was an image of the Kama Sutra carved in his underrobes, and it was rather. I'll send a picture in the group later. It was the weirdest thing. You just like normal Buddha, hardcore pornography.
Well, now we have to put that on the Instagram.
Yeah, it was an interesting thing. Yeah, you're walking along, and we'll cut to Arden. Arden, you and your
I'm just curious.
you and Gretch are in the towers, and Gretch says to you, you pull out the foresight item that you have, and he says, you see his like eyes kind of light up, and the arms come at him.
Yes, I thought.
Can I, would I be able to see that? Would that be okay? I won't, in how does it work? And I just want to examine the article. I don't want to indulge in its powers right now.
Well, as I mentioned before, if we can make an arrangement for me to use my credit without my card, then I will let you study this under supervision.
Well, I have to actually tell you something. I don't like to see my future.
That's
I like
fine.
it all to come at me as it comes, but it is a curious item, and I think a one of a kind. I've never, in all of my years, seen such a thing as this.
Well, as I mentioned before, if you want some time to inspect it, to study it under my watchful eyes, then I will happily let you do so. But I do require access to my account.
And without transferring the magics from your previous card.
Well, if what you say is true about being able to use that to, was it scry? Is that what you said? To scry on my lost friend?
There
then
is an individual in town who is quite proficient in these matters, and blood is a great tie across time, space, and the void.
I tell you what. Forget the credit on the account for now. I will let you use, well, study this artifact with myself if you share your insights with me, but also share this person's name and where I might find them.
Sharing my insights. Very well. I mean, that is awfully kind, and obviously the credit will remain, and you are most welcome when we have established which card you would like to keep the account on to spend and purchase within the towers. You would be looking, he lives in the residential district and plies his magics there.
Do you have an address?
He says, I can roughly direct you. It's not far from the well at the centre of the residential district.
And his name?
Retha.
Retha. Is there anything I should know before attempting to just turn up at this person's residence?
No, the door is always open there. The children run in and out. He's
Right.
an entertainer, I would say, more than a magician for the people there. They can't afford his magics, but he puts on a show for them nonetheless.
How much does he usually charge?
It's not a price.
Right.
It's normally in the form of a promise.
Okay. Well, gives me a step closer to finding my friend. Can't believe I just called Sin my friend. If it helps, then it's worthwhile. But as promised, information for information. Pops the symbol down. Is there somewhere we can go, or would you like to inspect it here?
I was not planning on something of this measure coming into my remit today. What I would ask of you is to maybe return this evening, and I shall bring the drinks. Come here late evening when the rest is shut, and I shall share insights and a glass or two with you.
Very good. Well, I will come back.
He lays his finger upon the thing that you placed down, and there's kind of like the long elongated fingers like run a sharp nail down the thing, and you can just hear that the sort of brittle nail ride down it.
It is quite a thing.
And then they put their hand on it and slide it towards you.
Sir Arden, I shall see you later on.
Thank you.
Not a trouble. A pleasure, as always.
This might sound strange, but you're one of the most helpful people I've come across since coming to this city.
I'm a
I'll see you
man
this
of
evening.
I'm a man of business. Things going smoothly is how I run my business. There are some that have their own drives and own opinions on things. Mine is mainly gold and information. One of them being more valuable than the other, and I think you know which. And when you can trade in both, you are a very rich person indeed.
Well, I still haven't mentioned our foregone conversation with my future expeditions. If I do come across anything that you might find interesting, I will inform you. But
Fascinating.
for now, I
What it
will
must
see
be
you.
to be a brave young adventurer going out there.
Brave. Debatable. Young. Definitely not. Anyway, thank you for your help. I will return later this evening.
There's a pleasing bow, and it's hard with a goblin's smile. There's always just too many teeth within it. But
It looks more scary than.
yeah, it's like it's a courteous bow with the head down and the eyes trying to look placating, but the razor sharp needles that exist within its face belay any sense of.
It's hard to smile without looking threatening.
Yeah, it basically it's like like a piranha trying to smile. You leave the place and you see Nan, and you hear the clatter of like thumping of feet in the distance, and you see Nan like brushing themselves down.
Angela, are you all right?
Yes. Just accident, I think. Yeah, I'm fine. I was
Do you need any help?
no, maybe if we walk back. Are you heading back to the yak?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Well, maybe we walk back together. I think if that's okay. I don't. The streets don't feel as familiar as they did when I was here before. It seems a little different.
Right.
But yes, I'm okay.
Well, if we get lost, we get lost together.
Yeah.
Nan, you remember one thing that we didn't do in downtime, but Krellin did give you the name of Retha, of your tiefling.
Yes.
Retha.
Oh, so we're going to see the same person.
Oh, well, we don't know that. That's.
You don't know that yet. No, haven't shared that.
Oh, see, you do. Character, you do.
Right.
I'm not gonna. I ain't gonna tell you, because I'm not gonna tell you how creepy I'm being about other tieflings. Why would I tell you that?
What? Tieflings? There's other tieflings?
Creepy? Me? What? Creepy?
And girl, no? What?
Yeah, back to the yak.
So you Sin. You search through this pile of arms and you find only left ones. The wrong arm. The wrong arm for bread. But you make a reasonable assumption that this is all. If this is all the left arms, maybe there's a place for all the right arms. You are mute.
Okay. Well, since there's only left, might as well just continue walking through random, the random slits, see where I can, find. And I see no one as I'm just traveling through the room.
You're walking through the room. Did you go to leave the one with all the arms?
Yeah.
You hear clatter, clatter behind you, and it feels like you think there's another arm been added to the pile. It sounds like wood falling on wood, and it seems to have fallen from up.
And when I look up, I don't really see anything, right? It's just they disappear.
No, when you look up, you see across a space to more of these cubes, more of these squares. But now you're peering a bit more closely, you notice that there is a steady stream of objects coming from the south direction. They're moving from the south above these rooms. And you can see that this kind of light, loose cloud of objects, you can't make out the distances from here, but when they reach a certain space, a certain way along this, it almost looks like a tube that they are flinging off and falling off, but they fall up, they fall to the left, they fall to the right, they fall down. It's like that cloud is, or that something is sorting these objects into their allotted spaces.
Oh. Yeah,
but they're just kind of gliding through the air. They reach the appropriate thing and then clap. One will fall down into the room with the children's shoes, and then something will fall somewhere else. But then you see some of them shoot straight up to the spaces above you. But you start feeling like that the floor is actually curved ever so slightly. And then you realize that you're actually in a huge tube with these 40-foot by 40-foot rooms that go round it. And then through the center is this stream of items that are gradually being sorted.
I'll go to where the islands are coming from. Can I say that right?
Yeah, towards the south. Yeah, so you're going to turn south and start heading that way. Then you walk into the next room, and it's an awful sound walking on this space. It's like a grinding, crunching sound as you're walking over thousands upon thousands of rusted keys. And they are in various states of decay, and it's all these like odd keys that have, with some with key rings on, some with little tabs on, and yeah, all these keys. And the next one you walk into, can you make a Constitution saving throw, please?
19.
You hold it back, but the stench of death. This room is filled with bodies. Piles and piles of rotting corpses. There are no flies, just the rot of the dead, and they wear every single possible different raiment, their garments from every different era. You see different types of metal armor, leather armor, different long forgotten factions that you barely remember from the ancient stories of your elders, symbols, elf, human, tabaxi, all kinds of creatures just piled and piled and piled. And as you walk along, there's and another body is added to the pile unceremoniously.
Not gonna lie, no idea what to do. I wouldn't happen to see anyone who's alive, right? Just dead bodies piling up.
Just dead bodies at the moment in this space.
I don't think there's anything I can do besides continue walking around, see what I can find. Yeah.
You walk into the next room, and it's filled with people.
The show with what?
People.
Oh, people. All right, nice.
They're sat on the floor with one of them sat on the floor with something, and they appear to be writing on the floor. One of them's got his back to you and is standing in the corner of the room.
I'll go up to one.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's about 30 people in this 40 by 40 space room, so you're weaving through them. There's more than you thought when you stood on the edge.
I poke them with my staff.
As you move closer, you realize that they're writing with the end of their finger. They've bitten their nails down so far that it's just raw stump. And they're just drawing a picture of a cat, a crude cat drawing, over and over and over again, just running their finger over this thing, this pattern, this cat pattern, over and over and over again.
Are they all drawing or just this one?
That one's just drawing with its finger. You now, in the midst of them, you can hear that one of them is having a conversation, but there's no one there to have a conversation with. And you notice that none of them seems to interact with anybody else in the room. They're all just doing their own thing. Like, they don't even seem to notice that there's anybody else in the room.
I go to the one that's talking by himself, go like in front of him.
There's nothing. They're looking roughly where you're standing. that the eyes are nearly looking through you. They're not focused on any particular feature of your face. There's not that kind of little kind of recognition flick as they stare at you. They're staring through you.
Right. Take my staff and then let me see real quick. Oh, that's pretty good. All right. I just slightly poke him, see if he'll notice that or just continue talking.
There's a reaction on the skin. You see that your stuff touches and pushes, and they stumble back a bit, but continue on. Like,
Fuck. All right. If I look, does this room have the same thing as the other ones, where it's these
Yeah.
sauna rooms?
exactly 100-foot high walls, black
If I
grey
look-
stone, white floors, white grey
If I
floors.
look,
Sorry,
if I look to the other rooms, are they filled with more people or different things?
different things. You don't see people in the next ones.
I'm so confused on what to do. I can't really go anywhere. Well, technically I can, but these people don't talk. They're technically not even there mentally, so to speak. Shit. I don't know, I guess I started to scream out if anyone can hear me or.
Your voice it's the first real sound you've heard, apart from the pattering of objects that have fallen down. You realize that you can see the person talking, but there's no words that have come out, and the scratching of the stump of bone upon the finger makes no sound either. Your voice is the first thing you've heard in ages, and you're not sure if you really hear it out loud or just hear it for the vibrations of your vocal cords within your body. And then you feel a tugging on the back of your sort of like the back of your hip.
Swear to God, Pete, better not be a kid. All right.
No, this feels like something like, imagine if someone had, like, someone's pinching your hips like this, but grabbing you from behind. Like if someone could like squeeze you like this from your hips, like that.
Slowly turn around with the queen's feather in my hand.
There's nothing there.
Mm.
People. And you still feel this pressure on your hips.
Trying to think how I'm gonna say this as sin without saying that as myself. How can I say this as sin? God damn.
Do you want to have a think and I'll go to one of the other guys for a bit?
Huh?
Do you want to have a think and I can go on to...
I know what I want to say, I just don't know how to say as sin. Fuck, I say it as myself.
Go on.
I will regret this. Fuck it, go with someone else.
Okay.
Then-
Arden and Nan and Mororook and Yala, you kind of have this wonderful little coming together as you weave out of the streets and you join each other. Mororook head swinging from belts. Nyala, as much as you could recognize that a tired, bookish look, like tired eyes, from study under candle or lamplight, around her, around the fur around her eyes, slightly like maybe like a bent whisker here, where like she's kind of been leaning, like flicking the pages of a book. Yeah, you all proceed towards the yak, and you open the doors to your.
I'm trying to ask Rook to help me find this kind of books.
Yeah, you catch the end of a conversation of like, but where does it go? Like, how do you get that? And that. Oh, and then I'll let you, RP.
Hi.
Hi. We
not
were
even
talking
gonna
about books.
Yeah, don't ask.
I
Don't
don't
ask.
want to know.
No, you really don't.
Yeah. Anyway,
Didn't you just
Nothing
come
you have to
from
see.
somewhere with lots of
I
books, Nyala?
Sorry.
Didn't you just come from somewhere with lots of books, Nyala?
Yes.
But you're looking for
those
more
kind of
books.
Not those kind of books.
Yeah.
wait.
Anyway, I have some news. Can everyone go? Can we go to the tavern and discuss about it in private?
Well,
Nan, you remember about the book that you have?
Which the one about Kareen?
No, the animals one.
Yeah, the animals of Kareen, wasn't it? Yeah.
Is it a book about the birds and the bees?
I don't know. I can't read it.
Do you say that? Do you say that in character? Oh,
No.
I was going to say, because Nan, you know, there's a picture of a bee in it.
Anyway, I think we all have something that we might want to talk about. But first, shall we? Should we get this alcohol back to Treese and tell her the good news before we settle down and share our days with each other?
How have we just been carrying these 2 barrels like around with us?
Whoever had them last, yeah.
In papooses. I don't think it would have been Rook, right? Because I would have been in
Brooke's probably been just going around from to this bar with alcohol just tucked under his
dwarf
arm.
heads and like 2 barrels on the side, kind of like a Saint Bernard, but like
you do realize she's going to flip out.
Yes, a Saint Bernard bugbear. I
God.
love that. That's my image of Rook now, is a Saint Bernard, and you can't change it.
Sorry.
Thanks for that.
Sorry.
You have to change your name now.
Saint Mororook.
Ooh, he's a good boy.
Oh hell no! Oh no!
The absolute
the big saggy ears and the floppy cheeks.
I'm maybe an old man, but I'll still whoop your ass.
The door is opened. Who's opening the door? Who's going in first? Let's have this marching order. Right, go in.
Well, I can't because I've got 2 big fuck off barrels.
I'll open the door.
You open it, and it's sort of reasonably swinging in there. There's no music on at the moment. Stage is there though, and things are happening. People at the bar, people in the booths. You notice that your booth is empty in the corner though, the one where Sin slept when you first came.
No Darvel.
You don't see Darvel, but you see Ed. Ed is serving.
Ed, baby, I'm here. Mommy's here.
He's pouring a drink, and he's like, he drops the drink and runs out from her. Mom, one arm around you.
I'm here, baby. I'm here.
And he comes around and he's like, guys, you made it back. That was quick. We thought you'd be gone ages. And he kind of goes to shake your hand, Arden.
I'm just going to kick you a bit in
Okay. Shakes the
Good to
hand.
see you, Arden. Good to see you. And he's like, Lady Nan, Lady Sin. And he goes to offer a handshake to Mororook, but is very hesitant. Like, and he does offer. And you realise that this is quite a brave thing for him to do, offering a hand to the person that removed an arm from his socket.
Right. Ed, I want you to listen to me very carefully.
Yeah.
Does it look right now that like I can shake your fucking hand?
Sorry. No.
There we go. I just
Can I get you a
like,
drink?
kind of just like walk past and kind of semi kind of walk into him, just walk past.
Ed, can you just
He
go
kind
and
of
get
goes, "Oh."
Trees for us?
He's like,
please?
Rook, can I get you a drink? Can you get a drink? What are you having? Rook, what are you having?
Shut up.
Rook.
I'm just ignoring him.
Ed,
It's okay, baby is just a
He turns back to you
grumpy
and
old
he's like,
bear.
he's like, Mum, I tried.
I know,
Tried.
I know. Honey,
Ed.
it's okay.
Ed,
Yes.
just go and get Trees for us, please.
Trees, yeah, oh, she's in the kitchen with Devel, cooking up a storm. Getting on my house on fire, them two.
That's, I was going to say worrying, but that's quite relieving, actually. Can you
What
just?
do you mean?
It doesn't matter. Can you please just go and get Trees and let her know that we've returned, please?
Sure. Yeah. He has to. Mororook's kind of like, where are you going with these barrels, Rook?
Just gonna go to the bar and just plonk them on the bar.
There is a from the
Not for you lot.
Oh.
Later, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
know,
shut up.
Go check over the
Fuck you.
barrels and make sure they're all.
Yeah, the barrels
Evil.
look fantastic despite being travelled through the snow, and you hear the
Thrown around by a bugbear.
and you there is a little bit of in the weft of the wood, Nan. You have to go. You realise just as you hear the little footsteps of Trees coming out, you're like, and you see that there is a tuft of bugbear hair wedged in the weft of the wood, and you pull it out and kind of hide it just in time before Trees is out, and there are these pristine barrels of beer on the table. She's, well, and the wrinkles of Trees are not quite the same as the gnome that lives in the library, but they are impressive, and there's ones that shape into a smile, a slight grin at first, then a beaming, and they stalk out from behind the bar, and they notice the set of heads on Rook's belt, and the face goes to a kind of open eyes and then a beaming smile, so many teeth, like grinning at this, and she's like, you absolute beauties, you.
Oh,
Yeah.
Trees. We didn't get one barrel. I'm sorry, one of the barrels. They had begun to drink it, and but we got these two. But yeah,
She's
It's
like,
fine because we got interest. Just plonks the heads down.
you got this many heads and this many barrels, Nan. You did good.
I
You
have
did-
butts.
Very good. I'd like to thank you, and as promised, rooms are now vacated. You have achieved to bring me these. I would like to offer you upstairs a room each.
each
Yeah, a room each.
It's very
They're small.
a whole room.
A whole room. You can come out your cupboard if you want, Nan. You can stay in your broom cupboard.
but there is a whole room upstairs. You know, the ones you used to make the beds in?
Hmm. Okay. It might take some getting used to. But I thank you. Yeah, maybe I should get used. Maybe it would be good.
This is reward enough to give you a good couple of months board here. So 3 months. How does that sound?
Very reasonable, Trees. Thank you.
That's okay.
Reese,
Rook, have you detached the heads and they're just on the bar now?
Oh yeah, they're just on the bar.
Okay, they're in a state of obvious. They're like they were Durgar popsicles while you were traveling, but the warmth of the bar has started to defrost them somewhat, and there is wet starting to leak from parts of them. She says, "Here, dear, Rook, would you just one more thing? Put them out the back
Okay.
until I can get them sorted."
Framed.
Ed, can
I wasn't
you do
thinking
that,
framed. I
please?
was thinking more taxidermy.
Taxidermed. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just pick them up and just go to the back door, open it, throw them outside.
Okay. Into the sort of
Yeah.
yard.
Into like the
little
yeah.
pen bit
Into
where,
the
where,
yard.
where the cheese was.
Yeah.
Reese,
Yes.
do you think I deserve pats?
No.
She glances. She puts her finger up. She tweaks your ear a little bit.
Thank you.
So you did
Every
very
time
well.
I think I'm getting used to this group. Every time.
Oh, Arden, lighten up, will you? Have a drink.
Reese,
Stop.
I have to show you my familiar.
Stop being a
Queenie,
miserable
come here.
fucker up.
Hey.
She's like, where's Sin?
Oh.
Oh, sorry.
No. Sin got teleported somewhere. And the thing is, I might have an idea of who and where. But I might need your insight on this story if you would take time to listen to what I've discovered.
Well, that's
Arden, you hear this.
interesting. I may have found a way of locating her.
Okay. Well, that would work.
I need to find somebody in the residential district called Riath. Riath, was it?
Rethar. Rethar. Nan,
Rethor.
you know that name?
Apparently it's something to do, this person can scry. Now, I have an account at the Alchemical Towers, and for any of you that know or don't, I had to give some blood to have an account, and I had a card with that blood on it, and I gave that to Sin to go do some shopping.
That was stupid, wasn't it?
Oh, come on, shut up, you.
Thank you, Rook. And then obviously Sin disappeared with my card. So I went to the Alchemical Towers this afternoon to see whether I could get a new one. And after a frank discussion with a friend of mine, they informed me that there's somebody in town that might be able to use said card to scry. Scry? I think it was scry. Scrying magic to locate her. So rather than get my money back, I thought maybe we could find her.
Yeah, seems like a plan. Trace, do you know a creature called Asarga?
I don't know a creature. No. I know. What was it? There was a rhyme or something. A rhyme about it from when I was small.
Once there was a youngling not yet grown. Careless and free was their attitude, and reckless was it coming and going. Their parents would say, "Take care of the thing you have, little one. Watch where you put them down." But they placed their feet and thoughts and words down wherever they so wished, and soon things were lost. First, it was the putting down of socks and shoes. One would go missing, and then the other, and then the child would cry out, "Where have they gone?" And the parents would respond, "Arthur have them now." They became careless with words, and soon friends vanished from their lives. They were put down without a care. Again, the parents said, "Arthur have them now." Then the carelessness got to themselves, and they were lost. And then it was their turn to be lost. But not fully. At the end, when we are lost, when all things stop, there is one to collect the pieces, and they will welcome into Asakar collections.
Yeah. We used to sing something. Can find it, can't find it. Take care, or a saga has it.
Saga is a place.
I don't know. Not a place. It was kind of like. Did you ever have stories when you were young of? I think the common term is a boogeyman. Something to scare kids into bed with.
So is it a creature or is it a place?
It's not
Neither.
anything. It's not anything. It's a children's story.
I have found something also in the library about a place. It was very obscure. I only found a book about it, but it's like a place in Shadowfell, but not in Shadowfell. A place that is similar, but is in Oplane, and is being lured by a being named Asagi.
Nothing I know of. Let's. This is not
Anyway,
talk for. Look, you need rest. You need food, and please take the. Oh, you see a shudder. That's creeping me out. I don't like it.
Sorry.
It's fine. I've experienced a few things in my time, and but that
You
doesn't
want-
sound like anything. I remember the children's rhyme, but no.
Do you
Come
want
on.
to pet me? Maybe say I can purr so you could be better.
You've
Would
had
you
to
like
pet.
would you like some tea, Treese? Can I make you some tea?
Like, Nanyala, you take a seat. I'll make the tea.
Oh, shit.
what time of day is it?
It's coming on. You've been yeah, you got that early morning. Nyala's been studying for quite some time, so
Okay.
there would have been some kind of chatting to the guards and chatting to people. So it's coming on early evening, we'll say.
He made tea. This is big.
Rook seems to recognize this. Rook's eyes flared at that moment, like
and realizes how much of a Treese making tea is important instead of and she says, the booth's free.
Cute.
Arden, I think I know this name that you mentioned. What was the name again?
Retha.
Retha. When I was at Krellin's store, I was asking about when there was the festival and we saw some people running stalls and some stalls. There was a stall that we didn't get time to really experience the festival, so I asked if they knew the stall holder, and this is the same person. Though what does it mean to sell stories and lies? I'm not really sure what that meant, but this is what Krellin said this person sells.
It means quite a
Poetry,
heavy
Cal.
stuff, in fact. It's not about... It's complicated, but
I was told they were
basically
an
what
entertainer.
you'll see. It's not pleasant, but you'll see.
Arden, go ahead with what you...
What do you mean not pleasant? I was told they were an entertainer.
Yeah, but when you saw stories and lies, the words
many-
have much more a heavy sense than you think.
There's many people that sit with their cards on their side streets, telling people their futures for coin, telling people of hopeful stories, and giving people that little bit of happiness to look forward to for coin. If people want to call it stories and lies, then I call it hope. But this person apparently is rather skilled in scrying magic. Some kind of divination, something that can help us find sin. Now, even though I'm not her biggest fan, I would like my card back. So, I'm going to go
Or
and see
our
this
card.
Rita.
We take this thing together.
If I recall, I sold my weapon for it. Anyway, I'm going to go and see this Rita. If anybody wants to come with me now, we'll have a quick cup of tea, go off and see them, because I have an engagement this evening, and I'd rather not miss it.
I'll come with you.
Engagement.
Sorry, Rook, say again, we missed that.
I just said I'll come with you.
Same.
I would like to come as well, but as long as there is not too many of us going, I suppose, maybe. But Arden, if I'm not really familiar with, well, I mean, I know lies and I know stories. I guess I'm not very good at telling the difference between
A lie and the truth.
Yeah, perhaps, but I mean, I know that perhaps I don't know why Krellin would say this, but is there when with this scrying magic, maybe we should be certain that it is the truth. Can that kind of thing be easily performed, faked?
My friend back at the tower seemed to know what he was talking about when it comes to magical arts.
And just
I
in
don't
case,
think
I'm
he
pretty good
would've-
at reading people's eyes, so
myself included. I don't think he would have advised me to come see this person if he thought he was a fraud. Scrying is, from what I was led to believe, not an easy feat.
Unless they're working together.
I don't feel like he has anything to gain from working with this person. Not when you're working at the towers. They seem quite opulent.
Okay.
But yes, tea.
Yes. Tea sounds.
You are
Just tea, thank you.
you're all gathered in the booth.
and cuddles.
There is
you.
there are the Ketu curls on a seat. This is not a fox that sits on the floor. Queenie roosts on the back between the booth and the next one. Someone tries to pet at Queenie. Queenie pecks them.
Queenie, nice.
Whatever sound it makes, I've no idea.
Oh, I love it.
Literally no idea. That's like the weirdest thing. Then there's
You
a kind of
agree.
bustling and a clattering, and she said, and you hear this. Go on, will you? Come on. But the soup. Don't worry about the soup. I'll look after the soup. But you will remember to add the salt at the right time. It's my soup. It's my recipe. Come on. And from behind the bar, you see an elderly gentleman being pursued by an even more elderly gnome with a tray with the best china on it.
Why does this feel like an episode of Last of the Summer Wine?
I was thinking more faulty towers.
The tray is slid onto the table, and she said, "You sit there. You haven't seen the boy in ages. You have a good old chat." She says, with no hint of irony, she says, "Shall I be mother?" And we'll cut that scene there. And Sin, that tugging continues upon your hips.
All right, so I rolled zeros for both dice, and if you remember what that means, that's super bad for anyone that's just around her. So you better let go of me before I lose my temper. I'm in the room with people, right?
Yeah.
And she just starts swinging at people around her with her queen's feather.
There are like rends through the flesh. As you swing wildly, they're packed in. There's a lot of people in this space. You cut through them. There is no response. The fabric shreds. The wounds open. No blood falls.
Then she's gonna continue to say, "You worthless piece of shit! No wonder you're hiding. You can't do anything when confronted alone."
You feel that your hindquarters start being pulled upwards, like you're being picked up, like this.
Oh, all right. She's gonna. Do I see anything like above me or anything?
You see this cloud of items.
Yeah, she's gonna continue like slashing away to anything she can.
You're gradually pulled out of the 100 foot up. You become part of the cloud. All around you are an amazing array of odd coins and corpses and shoes and keys and crying priests. And you're lifted up and you see the southerly direction. The mass of things are far more dense, and you feel yourself being pulled that way. And as you move through, there's almost like no gravity. These things bounce off of you, and you are pulled through the center of them. And there's just anything that could have been once lost is here being filtered, and everything having a purpose and a place to be once it's been lost. And you are brought before a whiteness, a glowing wall at the end of this great, infinitely long, if you glance back over your shoulder, you see no end. Your vision ends before the tunnel ends, and you see you're in this vast tube with thousands upon thousands of little rooms round this tube, and you are floating in the center of this great tube of rooms that are each being filled with the correct thing. And you hear in your head, everything falls. Energy dissipates. The spin slows. I sit at the end of everything.
Do I hear? Do I get to see where that voice is? No, it's in my head, right?
It's in your head, and it's just this great wall. And as you're there, the items are kind of. Have you ever seen like a diagram of like a close up of like a germ penetrating a cell through a membrane? That's how the items are emerging through this white wall.
Should I go up to the wall?
You're levitating.
Oh shit! I can't.
You're held at this point. You're not. You can kind of move within the space you're in, but you have nothing to push against to move yourself forwards. There's just items kind of like bouncing off you, like zero gravity, as they kind of tap off your spoons and shoes and keys. And
can I will myself to go to the wall?
Make a. Oh, they don't have will anymore, so it would be. Are you going to try and do this magically, do you think? Tell me how Sin's thinking about this. Is this just pure like mind over matter? Is this using your magics?
Mind over matter.
Okay, so that would be probably a wisdom check for me. Just straight up wisdom.
Hey, that's pretty good. 18.
You're able to sort of right yourself in the air and stand before this wall, almost as if you were standing on the ground, but your feet do that kind of hanging down thing because there's no floor beneath. And you hear this voice, and it says, "Out of place. Let's look a little closer." And you feel fingers sort of sliding underneath your skin. But when you put your hands there, there's nothing there. and you feel them move into your skull and touch you inside. And it says,
You bring yourself, or rather yourselves. You here will feel everything more purely, without the distractions of the world. Your mind is clouded by the hubbub of the world's interactions. Here, it is but you and the other fallen things. I bring them to order. I line them up. The lost properties of the universe.
Fuck. Shit. Well, I'll say she gets into like a defense stance, and it slowly starts looking around
mm-hmm.
and ready to attack anything she sees.
There is nothing there. There's just this glowing wall and items coming, and it says,
Far from home. Far from home, little M. More winner.
Don't like this. Don't like this one bit. What do you want?
To have everything in its final place. When all things end.
Do I see floor or just fog when I look below me?
you see this great circle of whiteness that reaches floor to ceiling, but floor to ceiling is a big circle, and where the rooms begin below you, hundreds of feet down and hundreds of feet up, there is just this white. You're held before this pure white membrane. More items pour through.
I have no idea what to do, to be honest with you. Let's see. Sorry, a minute. No. Just can't. I don't know what to do. Fuck.
It says you feel the fingers move deeper. It says,
Not just two. just two.
It seems fascinated by this.
I don't have anything that I know of that can help me fight against this.
Make a wisdom check.
19.
You think at this point that your skills in magecraft and fighting will have you're out of your depth in this. However, you do have your wits. You have your voice is still there. You heard your voice. You remember hearing your voice.
Okay, sentence wise, not me. I'm gonna still need some help. All right, I'm telling you that right now. So Fury knows about Sin and Morwen. Just found out about the other two. What can I say? What can I say?
What can you do?
He just told me I can't really do anything. I have to think of something.
It sounds like it's pondering now. It says,
Where to put you? Where?
Back home. Back. I can't say the end because it's already destroyed. It's in doesn't know it. Fuck, I can. Back to where he took me. Back to where my friends are. That she strains with the word friend.
it says,
More when life.
and then it says,
You wish to return. You wish to not be in stillness.
Where am I anyways?
You are at the end.
All right. Well, I'm gonna just head in a random direction. See if I can actually find some solid ground, or
you feel fingers not in your mind. You feel fingers round your entire body, a great invisible hand, and you're turned and held before the wall of light. And you feel like a bug under a microscope. You're being examined. And the voice says to you, it says,
You could bring something here to me.
Don't hurt
Okay.
yourself, okay?
Yeah, it's like, you need some water or something real quick
I've
before we
got some.
continue?
I've got some.
Alright. Like what?
One escaped. One left. One lost thing.
And you wouldn't happen to know where it is?
You agreed to do this thing for me.
Hesitant, she says, yeah.
Then call my name. When you next.
And then you just hear Asagi. And from the wall goes black. And then this massive space. Go on.
Can you check your Discord real quick?
Yeah. Um, 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 uh, you hear that you see the wall that was white suddenly completely switch to a black wall, and then you see that the wall isn't this membranous thing anymore, and you see wings, hundreds, thousands of hawks. The wall comes alive. They swoop towards you and envelop you. You're in a swirling mass of hawks, the beady eyes peering at you, and the voice swirls around you saying,
Asagi, Asagi.
each of the birds say that to you as it's spinning round, and you're in like this vortex, and they gradually move in on you, and you feel the wings beating your face. You feel the sharpness of their claws and beaks upon you, and then you're falling. You're falling. You're falling slowly. You're falling, and you look down and you see a large city below you. What would you like to do? You're falling, like, not flying, but like featherfall, basically.
Oh. And then right to guess this is Kakanzax?
You can see a great curved building that looks very akin to the library of Kakanzax that you've seen.
And judging from my past experience, I know where the Yak's Inn is. Yak's tongue? Yak's?
Yeah, you know what that is.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was really loud. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm slowly, well, as slow as I can with Featherfall, because that's like what, 60 feet per second or per turn, or
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make my way over there.
Okay, so you're falling slowly, and you guide yourself, and you can see now the little courtyard outside of the yak. You see the building of the yak. You see the well and everything to the left, and all of a sudden you're about 20 feet, and you feel like there is no longer featherfall, and you fall at your normal speed. Take only 4 damage as you fall. Everyone in the yak, you hear this almighty crashing sound on the roof.
The fuck is that?
And we'll stop there just for a second for a comfort break. I know it's been a bit late. But like, have a comfort break, everyone. Is that cool?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
I can refill
I need
my
some water.
So yeah, back into the game. So everybody has toileted and sampled of their all of their own facilities. Hopefully, and haven't gone next door to use their neighbours. Although go on, just go have a go next door if you want. I'm sure that if you're close to your neighbours, please go and have a leak next door.
If not, take a leak on their drive.
Yeah. If not, I'm sure they won't be happy about it. So
Please
yeah,
don't cut this. Keep this in. Don't cut this.
Yeah, don't cut this.
I'll just start the whole episode again. Hello, everybody. Welcome to to start again.
Oh boy.
So there is this crash and a tumbling sound and big D100 dice rolled.
Love to see it.
Mm.
Oh my god, stop rolling dice. You're through the ceiling of the yak. There's a crash, splintering of wood from the floors above.
I'm going to.
You are still
directly
prone in a pile. I'm going to say that I'm going to say that you're at the moment not unconscious because it's quite an impact through that distance. Stop.
The dog is not happy with your statement.
He's not happy with my. You are unconscious. He's not happy with that. That's unfair.
So if I'm hearing the crash and then the bigger crash on the floor, I'm literally just gonna fucking jump in front of the rest of them, shield and an axe. Like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm. Can you make me a dex as you do so?
Check or save?
Oh, check.
See, that is a dirty 20.
You nimbly get up from behind the table as you pull your weapons out, and do not disturb the tea service somehow.
Just
By the way, Nyala doesn't know what to drink tea.
Pour it in the saucer and lick it up.
I like. I like this image of like Nyala like
Oh no.
seeing like the tea being poured, and then like Nyala going and watching people trying to put their finger out, and like you're trying to do this with your paw, like you're staring at Rook, and Rook's even got it, and you're like, he's a barbarian, like that guy. Like in your head, and you're like trying to put your fingers.
I can be civilized.
We've established he's from
They drink
Kensington.
they drink a lot of tea in the military, so you know.
Exactly.
But it's usually from a flask.
You get up, you're brandishing your weapon. Teresa's like, what the hell is that?
I don't know, but we're going to find out. Rook? Smash.
No smash.
What? No.
Already smash. Smash already. Go fix smash.
So
Go
I'm
find-
going to walk over to the pile of rubble.
Oh no, this is on the. It's not in this space. It's in the floor above.
Oh, okay. I'm going
Yeah,
to walk upstairs then.
Yeah. You follow the route to upstairs for not Teresa's room is to the left of the bar, and you can proceed up a small staircase that is the mirror opposite. Like you think they might kind of cross like this at some point. There's two stairways, one from the kitchen, one from the other way. You proceed up, and you can see like under one of the doors there is like dust billowing. It looks like it's been blown out of that room.
Okay. So yeah, I'm going to go to the door and then kind of with my axe, kind of open the door.
The handle isn't turned, so the door is still shut.
Okay then. I'm just going to kick the door. I just open the door.
You click the door, and there is a huge pile of stuff, and on top of it is there's Sin, unconscious.
Holy shit! Yeah, I'm going to very quickly put my axe and my shield away, run over to Sin, kind of like pick her up, kind of like Hagrid to Harry Potter kind of vibe, and then run back downstairs and just kind of place them delicately down on this, like in the booth, kind of like sit them up in the booth. Look what I found.
Is that?
Yep.
How?
I don't know.
When?
And she's unconscious, right?
Yes.
Yeah, unconscious, completely unconscious at the moment.
I start rifling through her pockets.
Wow.
You see that
You'd do it if it was this. If you were in my position.
As you start looking through for
No, I'll kill you first.
what does the rest of you think at this when you see Arden doing that?
Nothing. Just like
Sin
I'm
would do the
just
same
mind
thing.
blowing, but Sin is here.
He's doing he's starting to do a medicine check. What are you, Arden? What are you looking for? Why? We need to wake her up.
She was the ox.
Yeah, but it's easier getting my things first than waking her up.
I will try, I guess, is she breathing? Is she, we haven't even checked if she's breathing, neither of you.
I mean, I presume she's breathing.
I just brought a body downstairs that looked like
She's
Sin.
breathing? Okay.
For all I know, it could be like a lich that's been like polymorphed into Sin, or like a witch using vibe self, disguise self, vibe self. Hey.
I check for my card and anything else I might find. Gem.
Rook casts Vibe Self on
Vibe
himself, and Niala, you now completely understand everything about sex.
George's.
Do I?
No.
Miss.
I fucking hope not.
You know what? I'd
Can
like
someone
it.
please go on D&D Beyond tonight and homebrew this spell now? Like
You cast this spell, the person you cast it on learns everything about sex.
I'm just thinking you're like vibey, you know,
This
like
vibe.
Please
sex time.
It's like the one
Rook-
dude in the
make
club
this
that's
happen.
like getting everything going on that night. They're fully vibing in the club.
But he's wearing my shirt, like my terrible shirt.
Like,
So like he would be all right if he wasn't wearing that shirt.
Fucking hell.
Like,
I need to learn how to talk. I really
it's
do.
okay. It's the best, George. I'm
As long as
checking
you don't
Sin's
whip out your full
vitals.
skin again.
yes, you
That's
are.
all.
There is breath and there is a pulse.
Okay.
The pulse is fast.
Hmm.
Yeah, is going to
Is-
try to make a brave.
Give me an investigation, Arden, as well, please, while this is happening.
Man, is she alive?
She's breathing. There's a pulse. I think.
Just unconscious.
Yeah, I think maybe
Can I slap her awake?
Okay, let's have that. Arden's investigation.
17.
You find the card immediately. It's quite easy to find.
Yeah, it's in my pocket. Right there.
Yeah. You notice that there's something clutched in the hand. And then Mororook slaps. Do you want to try and make a perception check for me? If you see what it is with the hand clasped.
All right.
No, for Arden, sorry.
Oh shit! All right.
You are just about to come to.
Fuck's sake.
Did-
8.
Nah.
Did the slapping? Have you tried to slap Sin already?
Yeah, Rook slapped Sin, and there's an almighty wallop, like a open palm bugbear hand. It is pretty good for this kind of thing. You come round, Sin, your face stings. Your hand is worse. Because your hand is clutched so tight.
Rook, was that necessary?
She's awake, isn't she?
I make sure that the tea set is pushed to the side a little bit, so it's not going to get gently sort of make it safer.
Darvel is actually just sat there with a cup and a piece of cake.
Rook's going to go and sit down by Darvel and just pour some more tea and just watch.
Darvel, without looking, tops you up.
Thank you, Darvel.
Sin, do you hear us? Sin,
It hurts.
yeah, that was Rook slapping
What the
you.
fuck is his problem?
I don't know, okay?
Then what's in
You're
your
here.
hand?
How-
Sin, do you want to open your hand?
Sure.
If
Yeah.
Sin said they that hurts, then I'm gonna cast Healing Spirit. It's just like I don't know whether you've got low hit points or anything, or any. It's just like you said, I'm hurt, so I'm doing it.
Cool. So there's a wave of healing energy.
Little foxy spirits kind of crawling around Sin, just gently kind of.
And then kind of like
It's cute.
seep into your skin, like kind of they march up and then go like kind of ghost in, like maybe like that, like. But it's a pleasant experience, like, almost like a. Imagine if you've had a Fox's Glacier mint rubbed all over your body.
Nice. Like vapor rub.
Yeah, kind of like a refreshing little minty blast of healing. I made myself laugh. Sorry.
I also get hit points back as well, I think. So I'm good.
So you feel refreshed. Your face, where the some whatever happened to your face is not as hurting as much, and the tightness in your hand is loosening. But you see that you've brought up blood in the inside of your palm. You can.
I'm not holding anything.
You haven't opened your palm. You can open it.
Yeah, open it.
You see that there's a really small teaspoon. In your hand.
From
Tea?
What is that?
I look up for a second and say, a teaspoon?
Is that some kind of sick joke?
I
We
don't
were
fucking know.
just taking tea.
Where have you been?
Sin,
Put it in my pocket real quick.
Sin,
What?
where were you?
Where
I don't
have
know.
you been?
You've disappeared for days.
Oh shit. That was like one day, not multiple.
No, it was like
Sin for you, an hour, maybe 2.
What are you talking about? Oh,
it's been like 3 days minimum that we're gone.
Maybe 3-4 days. Yeah.
We're back at Kakanzak's.
What
We lost
happened,
you
Sin?
again.
I don't know.
Are you okay?
I know is I woke up in an empty room, filled another rooms filled with random shit. Do I still have the prosthetic arm? No, right? I couldn't find one for.
On the matching one. But you think that the teaspoon is a relic of one of the rooms?
Oh yeah, because it was like just like a giant pile, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, I put that one in my pocket.
We're in a room with chunks.
A
Sin.
empty room that led to other rooms. One just had arms, prosthetic arms, not real arms. Just like try to find one for Ed. Wrong hand.
Oh, that's
Um,
sweet. Anyway, continue.
I don't remember all the other rooms. Oh, then there's another one with just boots. Or not boots, shoes, right? Little kid shoes. For one leg, they weren't even a pair. What kind of person doesn't get a pair of shoes?
Amputees.
And then she just continues to.
List the rooms.
Yeah.
So she says a room full of spoons, a room full of cats, a room full of the war dead, a room full of people that seemed insane, of prosthetics, and something about a priest as well.
Oh, and now that since below 20, you'll see that she's slightly paler than before. Just slightly though.
Bit sick, if you ask me.
Sin.
Malnourished. Have some tea.
I don't drink tea.
Sin. Were you in a place or did you talk to someone?
I think the more pressing question is, why don't you like tea?
Ah, shut up.
Maybe we should let Sin rest a bit rather than asking lots of odd questions.
Been kidnapped for 3 days. And for it, she'd been like maybe hours. And right, yes, go to rest.
What's the last thing you remember before you disappeared?
You would remember opening the door and a rush of feathers.
That's. Wait, from the other place or when I was here?
What happened before you were there? What were we doing?
I went upstairs to check a room. And there was a bunch of birds.
Upstairs of where? Where were we? What were we doing?
Yeah, I went with her.
No.
We were. Oh shit! I actually don't remember. We were in the middle. We were at an inn in the middle of God knows nowhere, getting the alcohol if there was any left, and dealing with I don't know who for trees.
Right.
It was the snowed in.
The Snowden. Not going out in was our one shot in.
Oh, sorry. Too many inns and too many inn names.
Yeah, I just
We should start a franchise. Okay.
So I did
Brooke's
That's
already
better
on that.
spins.
that one shot did confirm my theory on Peter.
What was that? This is the
Mushrooms.
mysterious.
Because every time you do an inn, every time we went to an inn, in one shot and in this adventure, the tenant was a woman.
And it was a woman. Oh, it has
In
been.
the Snowden? I don't
that wasn't a woman, was it?
I don't think we know.
That the backseat was just like the bar that.
No,
or
you
like
don't know. You
performed.
don't know who the
Don't
Snowden.
know. That
No,
was
the
nothing to do
Snowden
with
was
us.
referred to as a man, actually, male.
Yeah.
Because Teresa was talking about him and saying he was an idiot for trying to set up an inn. I
Yeah.
think, at one point, in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, teaser had Sin. You does anybody else want to do any questioning on Sin? Sorry, Arden, you were running a line of questioning to try and establish something, I believe.
I was just trying to make sure that that she was who she says she was by testing her memory.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to be in line.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So you do that in character, and you.
Can I
get
do
to-
a quick insight check on her?
Yeah.
4.
Just see if
You are
to see if the sin that's come back is the same sin that left. In all manner of speaking.
So you're just looking at like body language and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but just like mannerisms, language,
Yeah, of course.
just a general feel to see if
Mhm.
is this the same person? Is there anything different about her?
Then,
25.
would you stab me?
Let's let Arden do this.
Queen's
roll.
feather's not in my hand, right? I just had it when I was falling.
Sorry.
Queen's feather, my dagger.
Yeah,
Did I have it falling?
when you were falling, the only thing you had in your hand was your little spoon.
All right, I'm gonna use a charge and summon Queen's feather back in my hand real quick.
What's that? What's that insight then?
25.
You see that the mannerisms are the same. There is a slight look of something different around the eye in terms of that when someone's seen something that they've not seen before, or that is shock, a haunted look, you might call it. About them, but otherwise you see them as 100% them.
It's her. Right.
Are you sure?
I'm going for a drink.
I'm gonna check the it sounds like maybe there's some damage. I'm going to see if I can what the damage might be on the roof.
Arden stands up and goes to leave to reach his appointment.
As you step out the door and rise from the bar, you hear this Nanyola from upstairs.
Thank God I'm
Yep.
leaving.
I'm going to follow Arden. Good luck.
We'll leave that to you then, Nan. Okay. Toodles.
Sorry, we just got rooms, but then again, the cupboard is okay. I'm gonna go and see whether.
No.
Oh, that's perfect. That is perfect.
Brilliant.
Oh shit, that's time to go.
Everybody makes their excuses and leaves for the evening. Nan, you are
No, I'm gonna just stay with Nan.
okay. Sin is with you, and you go upstairs to see this devastation of where Sin has suplexed through the ceiling of the inn. His sin is quite slight. The impact wasn't too great. There's no rafters broken. You think they've just gone through the tile part of this space, as the damage was not great to sin or the roof. Look, as you have made your excuse, that nagging sensation that you heard them talking about, this scrying business, nags at the back of your head. Rook is sort of your like something nagging.
Bit of scratch.
Sorry, still didn't hear you. Didn't pick up on the mic.
I'll give it a bit of a scratch.
You scratch, and then you realise that your arm's itching again.
I'll give that a scratch as well.
You breathe deeply of the air as you scratch your arm, and your vision shifts, and you get a kind of a weird flicker of a big mustache.
Okay.
And you ponder and wander into the night. Where are you heading?
I'm gonna kind of see what the nightlife of Kakanzax is like when there's not a big festival. Like, what's open nearby?
There's the square to the left that you were advised about by Lucas.
Yeah. I'll go and have a look in the square, see what's around.
Okay. You walk into the square, and there are these eateries and outside bistro style seating that's around a well that is quite decorative with little fountains, and there are lanterns swinging in the cool breeze, and no snow tonight, just the frozen ground as always, kind of mixed with mush, kind of put to the side the bigger depths of snow and blown in drifts in places. But it's been maybe a day or so since it snowed on Kakanzax proper or anything of true nature. There are a few little restaurants kind of open, selling things. They are well to do. I think that's probably the way to put it. They are there are very well dressed servers. There's not sort of like a nana with a slop pot serving with a ladle to the table. These are presented meals. These are very, very nice things that are being presented. And the people that you see sat there are of a type, beautifully made suits, beautifully made hair, and beautifully made faces. And great big wigs and stuff. And
yeah, I mean, I've already eaten, so Brooke's not going to be like interested in any other food. Is there any like any bars or like, any like shops that are still open at this time or anything like that?
On the square here, no. But you kind of remember that, well, or think about it, that you've walked kind of to the north, and you've walked sort of to the northeast of northwest of the town, but you've never been just west from the further than the square.
I'm gonna go west. Have a wander down some side streets, see what I can find.
Yeah, this is very tightly packed area. There are many little narrow streets and strings of washing, and there are a few kids, maybe teenagers. Maybe they are not supposed to be having the bottles that they hold in their grasp, and you find yourself towards a well that is located centrally to like a sort of spiral of houses that you come across. And there's one place that is you get a waft of this, a smell that you kind of recognize, but this is a fresh version of the smell.
Okay.
There's a smell of incense in the air, like not like from a censer or something, not like a this is kind of like a sweet, exciting sort of, almost like you think back to a dream you had when there was a great sort of foresty thing. You were running through a forest at one point, and that's what you remember, that kind of fresh, broken greenery smell, that kind of smell.
Yeah. I'm going to go into this little shop, see what kind of things I can see in there.
You walk in, it's very dark, but as you step into the place, a curtain lights up in front of you. Down it, multicolored beads of light drop down and then swirl all up and down this curtain. And then you hear a voice and it says, "Enter!"
I just have.
"Enter further!"
Yeah, I'll just kind of a couple of paces forwards, kind of a bit wary of what the hell I've walked into.
You touch the curtain and the ribbons of light move round your arms and run up and around you, spin round a few times, and then kind of go up to the ceiling, which is full of drapery, and then they trace along these sheets that hang from the ceiling, and they're all beautiful silks with embroidery upon them, and then these little wiggly lines trace along all the patterns and then kind of come down and drop into the center where there's a sort of chandelier, and then the candles are light, and then from the center of the chandelier, like dropping out like like honey being poured, the light drops onto a crystal ball, and then the crystal ball lights and fills the room with this white grey light, and then you see that it highlights a face, the bottom half of a face like this, below a great hood.
What is this place?
This is a place of magic and fortune.
Okay. Interesting. Why not? What is it that you do then?
I tell the future, the things that might come, things that may not, but you might gain some insight into where your lives are going.
Okay. Can you see other people's futures or just mine?
If there are ones close to you, we may be able to experience some of that as well. I may be able to see what the fates hold for each of you, or where you might interact with them.
Okay. I'll play ball.
Ah, play ball, crystal ball, good one.
Fine. I kind of kneel at the table What do you want from me?
Nothing.
Okay.
Maybe something. Let's see. Give me your hands.
These two like paws just thud on the table.
He grabs the crystal ball. And he slides these long manicured nails, palms underneath your backs of your hands, and kind of pulls you a little bit forward, like guides you towards him. And you have to kind of lean like this down to where he is. And he's, well, and he takes one long nail and these rings all up his hand. He goes, well, here we have it.
What's wrong?
He pulls his hands away and he pulls back the hood, and you see bald pink head, horns, pointed ears, and sharp teeth. He looks at you and says, hold on. He takes a crystal ball off the table, stows it underneath, and pulls out a little wooden box and sits it on the table. He lifts off the lid and reaches inside and puts onto the table a little bag. And you hear a clatter.
What is this?
These are runes, my friend. These are runes. These are your hands. What it says does not. It's not for playing. It's not for frivolous things. What the read I got was nearly unreadable. We need to look closer to you, good sir. We must examine farther.
Go on then.
He reaches in and pours the runes into your palm. Pour them back into the bag.
Okay.
They clatter into the velvet pouch. It says, pick 5.
5.
5.
I pick
Lay
5
them,
out.
lay them face down.
Okay.
And he begins to turn the stones, shaking his head. I can't be.
What?
And he's flipping these things gradually. You look old, but you are not that old.
Yes, I know that. Long story.
He turns the stones. He's like, and he goes. He kind of turns the last one. Let me show you. He slams his hand down. He slams his hand against your head, and you're shot into a vision. You are in a dusty workshop, and you look down and you see an arm. A arm covered in fur. Orange fur. And behind a bench. Like laying on the floor.
Do I recognise the room?
You recognize the room from your dream previously.
Is it
Yeah, the lab with all the things.
Okay. Do I now remember what this lab is? Now that he's doing his voodoo shit?
Not quite.
Okay. Anything else that I see?
If you walk forwards, you see that that arm is not attached to anything, and you see that what it was attached to was Nyala. And you
Okay.
see the unmoving body of Nyala.
Can I see like any wounds or obviously
Any
apart from the missing arm?
Yeah, battered, bruised.
Okay.
You walk forwards and you find the body of Sin. Then the body of Nan, and then the body of Arden.
Are they all like looking the same?
They're tatters.
I look down at my arms.
You are pristine.
If I keep walking forward, can I see anything else?
You walk forwards and you see the vats again that you saw at the far side of the room. You saw before. And you see something in the fluid, the misty fluid that inside it. And then all of a sudden, up against the glass, there's this face, and it's a mustache and a grin, manic eyes, and the mouth opens and screams, "Help!" You come back into the room with the pink tiefling. He removes his hand and says, "You mustn't. They are your friends. You mustn't
What?
take them.
What's that?
It is in your future."
No, that's not good enough. What did you show me?
I don't know. I just
What?
know the fates pulled them here.
What do these mean? What do they mean?
This shows of a time long before that you could even be. It tells of where you came. But this is not it's not possible that you could be as you are now. And this ancient, this means ancient.
So you're saying I'm apparently old? Are you saying that these rooms are me, that I am ancient?
They tell of where you came, what choices you must make.
What are the choices?
I showed you. If you go there with your friends,
They will die.
you would lose them. That is your choice.
Do you know where this is?
He
That room, that laboratory. Do you know where that is?
he looks at the runes, and I think this would point. Do you know of Jakarta?
Where, sorry?
Jakarta. You would know it. It's on the edge of the desert.
Okay.
You know it to be a beautiful city. Beautiful, stunning buildings, tall, near skyscraper buildings. He says, do you know of the lost city of Jakarta? The dead city
Dead city.
of, yes.
I know of Jakarta.
Then you know.
It's not a dead city. It's a beautiful city.
No. Dead walk the streets. Demons lurk the basements and catacombs beneath.
This. What? No. Jakarta is glorious. It's beautiful. It's not dead.
I've read in the histories it was once very beautiful, very glorious, great spires, great buildings.
How long ago was it that it died?
Hundreds of years.
Doesn't make sense. I remember it being a glorious city.
And he points back at the first rune again. Ancient.
Okay. Right. So what you say is, if I go here with my friends, they will die.
I believe that is so.
Okay. Answer me one more thing.
Very, very well. You can see he's visibly shaking.
My wife, is she safe? Is she alive?
Cast again. Cast the runes again. He looks and he smiles. You were so happy. He smiled like a fond smile down at these runes. And then, oh, she's not here anymore.
What do you mean she's not here anymore?
And he picks up the rune and says, time has passed, friend. Too much time has gone.
Where is she? Where does she lay? Her body. The time has passed. Where is she laid towards?
He kind of looks at the runes again. And he looks. Says, I think the plains. Maybe the plains. Maybe they're unclear here. They're unclear. They don't tell me that.
No.
I've stared too deep.
It's fine. Rest. Stop. It's fine. I know what I have to do. I need to find her. Thank you. Thank you.
I suggest these. You may find more answers at Jakarta.
Yes. I will make my way there. Thank you. And what was it that you needed from me?
If you should return, I may ask a favor.
Name it.
I don't know it yet. There may be something I require a token, maybe.
Okay. Yes.
I am so sorry to have shown you such graven
No.
images.
No. It's better to know how to avoid something like that than it is to walk in blind.
He nods, and his from where you saw him with the bounce and the pomp and the showman, beautiful, very smooth, but beautiful pink skin. The eyes have sunken, and he looks kind of haggard and says, "Thank you," and draws the runes, and the lights fade, and he kind of retreats into his cloak and folds his arms, and you hear gentle breathing begin, like he's
They kind of
gone to sleep.
stand up and just kind of before he goes to sleep, goes to walk out, and if this turns out to be false, it would be a trinket you'll get.
I know. I've seen that too.
Just walk out.
And that is where we shall end this evening's episode.
What a roller coaster episode!
Yeah.
Thank you for playing.
Thanks,
Oh.
Pete.
Oh, Pete, well,
Yeah.
very well done tonight. Epic.
Oh, you like it? That's good.